Good afternoon. Happy Thursday to everybody. My name is Alex Clay. I am the CEO of Suran Systems. Joining me today is Chris Widener from our marketing department. Today, we're going to look at how, if you're using our Engage Giving solution, Fee Assist, this new feature, will help you receive 100% of the donations that you receive online. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the availability of Fee Assist and system requirements. I'll give you sort of a rundown of how this feature works. There's a few features that we are finishing up that will be released in the coming weeks, so I'll give you details on that. And then we'll dive in and demonstrate how Fee Assist operates in Engage, and then how you can view and work with those gifts in CDM Plus. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. Today is the third of a series of 3 webinars highlighting our product releases this fall. 2 weeks ago, we talked about CDM Plus 11.1. Last week, we had a webinar about our new mobile receipts feature, and then Fee Assist is the final one. You can find those recorded webinars on our YouTube page, along with all of our other videos. And Chris can go ahead and drop a link to that YouTube page into the chat so you can easily access it. I'm going to begin by just giving you an update on sort of Fee Assist and where it is in terms of being available. Today, we're looking at Fee Assist in a testing environment internally. Fee Assist will be available for the rest of you, or for everyone to use, at the start of next week. We're finishing testing on a last couple of pieces. And as a rule, we generally do not release updates to Engage late on a Thursday or a Friday, seeing as how Sunday is a very busy day for our Engage product. So we'll have this out early next week, but as soon as it's available, you'll get an email from us that says here, Fee Assist is ready to go. But I wanted to go ahead and walk you through how this works. Everything's looking super solid. So what you see today is pretty much what you're going to get at the start of next week when this goes live. There's a few extra features that we're excited to add, but we didn't want to hold back the overall release to make those available. So the first round here is kind of the core Fee Assist, and then we'll have a few extra bells and whistles, and I'll give you some details in a minute on exactly what those are. To use Fee Assist, you're going to need several elements. First, if you haven't already, go ahead and update to CDM Plus 11.1. This will allow you to access all the setup for Engage within Engage, which is where the Fee Assist feature is now controlled. And that's done by setting administrative access to the authorized individuals. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Next, you're going to need to move, if you haven't already, to the flat rate fee plan with Paya, or Stewardship Technology, our payment processor. We announced flat rate fees along with some changes to how we sort of bundle Engage together, and also that Fee Assist was coming. We had all these announcements back in September. If you want a detailed breakdown on kind of how Fee Assist, or sorry, how flat rate fees work, or any of these changes, I recommend you go back to that recorded webinar from September and give it a watch. Chris will go ahead and drop a link actually to a page on our Help Center that's got all kinds of good details, questions, and so on about this change that explains exactly what flat rate fees are. And I'll show you in a minute why that is, why that's so important. Next, you're going to need Engage Complete. And I'm thinking that most people here already have Engage set up. But if you don't, I've got a great offer for you to try it, which I'll tell you about here in a second. But Fee Assist is part of Engage Online Giving, which is available through our Engage Complete plan. And then, of course, as part of Engage Complete, you have to be on data hosting or have a software as a service subscription. To those last 2 points, if you are considering moving to Engage, obviously we highly recommend it. Engage is a very easy, user-friendly program, and the gifts that people make through Engage, unlike using a third-party service, save directly into CDM Plus. The deposits process directly into your ledger, and it really smooths and streamlines the whole process. If you're not yet on Engage, we've got a promotion going right now. You can get 2 months free on any new Engage plan. And if you need to get on hosting and you're not yet there, we'll also include 2 months of data hosting with that promotion. For anybody, there's no contract, there's no cancellation fees for Engage, there's no sign-up fees for this. So if you want to try the service out, we think you'll absolutely love it. But in case it's not the right fit, you can, within that first 2 months, just say, sorry, this isn't going to work, and you won't be out any money whatsoever. Hopefully, you'll have a few donations coming through, and you'll actually be up those donations. So exactly, let's talk specifically about Fee Assist. So Fee Assist is specific to online donations. Engage also lets you receive funds for for billing, if you're using accounts receivable, for online registrations, but those have features already to sort of add a processing fee on top of it. Fee Assist really rounds that out and brings this to donations, which is where the bulk of incoming transactions are made through Engage. Fee Assist uses those flat rate fees to know at the time of donation exactly how much transaction fees will be applied to make those funds transfer. Anytime there's any kind of financial or electronic transfer of money, there's a cost to that. The various financial institutions that facilitate those exchange, they have fees that help provide and pay for those services. Even if you're not used to seeing those come through, maybe when you purchase an order online, or maybe if you're looking at another service that says, yeah, there's 0 transaction fees, those fees are getting built into a monthly charge or something else along the lines, or they're being offset somehow. With Engage, we're just like any other online service. When somebody wants to pay you a certain amount of money, there's a percentage of that is paid in fees, and then you receive essentially that payment minus those fees. I'll give you a good example for this. With the ability to have flat rate fees, which became available in September, we can now know before that transaction is actually initiated how much the fees are going to be to get those dollars into your bank account. And what Fee Assist does is it takes the amount that the donor is paying and it pads it. It adds a little bit more to help cover those transaction fees, with the goal of getting your organization or your church or your nonprofit 100% of that intended gift. Fee Assist is 100% optional for you and for your donors. We've talked to a lot of people over the years that are very keen to have this feature. We've also talked to people who said, I do not want this feature. Please tell me your service doesn't offer it. So this is something you can turn on and off. And if you turn it on, your donors, because they are the ones agreeing to make this donation, they have the final say-so as to whether or not they want to participate. So it's optional for both you and your donors. As you'll see here, there's one caveat. One of those features that's coming in the coming weeks is the ability to offer Fee Assist for text giving donations. So that won't be available right at the start next week. Your online one-time gifts, guest gifts, recurring gifts, all of those can take advantage of Fee Assist. And in some weeks' time, we'll be able to offer that for text giving as well. So to put some numbers and meat on this, essentially, the process is very straightforward. When a donor makes a gift, they check a box that says, I would like to increase my donation to offset processing fees. Engage then figures out exactly how much that donation needs to be increased in order to make sure you get the intended amount. The donor pays their gift plus those fees, and then you get the full gift amount. That's exactly kind of how this works. For examples, let's say I've got an ACH gift for my checking account of $200. So I'd like to make a donation to my church for $200. Without Fee Assist, this is how it's always been. I would pay $200. That comes out of my checking account. The church receives $198.10. So that's essentially my $200 minus those transaction fees. What Fee Assist does is it kind of moves this around. So I end up paying $201.92 out of my checking account, and that church or organization, they receive $200 in their bank account in 2 days when that settles. Here's another example, a Visa gift of $50. Previously, I would pay $50, that's my intent, and the organization receives $48.25. With Fee Assist, I pay $51.80 so that the organization receives the full $50. So This is essentially kind of shifting around the cost of that electronic transaction. Instead of that cost being on you as the organization, that's spread out amongst all of your donors and your members. Just so you know exactly how this works, the formula that we use to calculate those fees is basically gift plus 30 cents divided by 1 minus the rate. The rates for the flat rate fees, those are available when you make that switch. It's 0.8% for ACH, 2.9 for all your credit cards and debit cards, except for American Express, which is 3.5. If you have not yet switched to flat rate fees, it's very easy to do so. There's a form that you fill out and you send to us. I'm going to ask Chris to go ahead and drop a link into the chat with instructions on how to do that. Generally, we can get that turned around in a day, possibly two. But if everything's popping along, that could even be same day. So, while Fee Assist is coming out a little bit later next week, you might want to go ahead and make that shift to flat rate fees today. On the Fee Assist, the amount is automatic. You can't set what that is. The donor can't set what it is. It is calculated to the penny to ensure that you get 100% of the intended donation. Of course, the donor can always increase or decrease or opt out of Fee Assist to adjust the exact amount they pay. And again, flat rate fees is really the key here, because that lets us know before we initiate the charge to move money around, we know exactly what those fees are going to be. As I mentioned, there's a few features that we'll be rolling out in the very near future. Fee Assist for text gifts is one. We also want to make it easier for people to always choose Fee Assist. So we'll be adding some defaults that say, yes, always turn on Fee Assist on my gifts. Today, or when this rolls out next week, you can turn Fee Assist on for any existing scheduled gifts. You have to do that one at a time. So we want to put a button on there that just turns it on across the board if you have a number of scheduled gifts. And all of this is really driving to a feature that the first time somebody makes a donation with Fee Assist, we'll ask them, hey, would you like to do this for this gift, for any current gifts, for all your future gifts? You just want to have this Fee Assist be kind of your standard. And if they click yes, it'll set that default and enable it on all their scheduled gifts. So again, these are really nice features, but they are not necessary to get the core Fee Assist out the door. So we wanted to go ahead and get that shipped, and then we'll be adding these down the road. So that's kind of enough of sort of my presentation. I'm going to dive right in here, and we'll take a look at Fee Assist in Engage. And you can see I've got Engage pulled up here. I'm logged in, but again, Fee Assist works just fine if you are a guest as well. So I'm going to go into giving, and let's make a gift, and go ahead and turn on that fee assistance. So we're getting closer to Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holidays. I want to go ahead and make a $200 donation to our community food bank. So I'm going to come in here and key in a $200 donation. This operates just exactly as it always has. I'm just doing this once. I'll do it today, and go ahead and click continue. And then I'm prompted for what payment information. I've got my checking account preloaded here. I could choose my Visa if I want, or add a new payment method here, but checking looks good. I'll go ahead and click on continue. And then I get to this review page. There's my organization, notes about my charge to my bank account. And then here's my actual donation to the community food bank. The Fee Assist is this new option right here. This reads, I would like to increase my donation to offset processing fees. When I check this box, now I can see that $1.92 has been added. So my $200 gift is now going to end up being $201.92, and all of that looks good. So I'll go ahead and submit this gift. That looks just fine. And this will take just a moment to process through. I do want to comment that the donation that I'm making here to help cover fees, that's actually a tax-deductible donation to me as a donor. So while I'm intending for the organization here to get $200, I could actually claim $201.92 on my taxes. Well, how is that? Well, what we're doing here is we're not really eliminating fees. There's no way to do that. What we're simply saying is we're going to give you a little extra to help with your overhead and your operating expenses for offering online electronic donations. And that's simply a designated financial gift to a charitable organization. And that as far as we understand, is completely tax deductible according to the letter of the law. So that's it. That's exactly how I make a gift with Fee Assist. Works just like it has before, with the addition of that one checkbox. So let's take a look at sort of how that's receipted back to the donor. Here is the email that I received. Here's my standard thank you message. Here's the information for my giver. Here's the payment information. And down here under the gift, I can see my total gift is $201.92. And under the details, I see my $200 to the Community Food Bank, but I also see $1.92 to this Fee Assist Giving Fund. And this is where, again, this is an additional tax deductible donation that I'm making. Now, you can change the name of this fund. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But we felt it was very important to have this split out clearly as two breakdowns on a gift, because when you send out a statement at the end of the year, your donors are going to see their total giving to that Fee Assist Giving Fund if you've got that enabled on your statement. So we want the receipts that they receive as they make each gift to agree with the statement they get at the end of the year, so everything is consistent and doesn't raise any questions. So this is, again, very similar to what they're used to seeing, just this one other line item added in. So let's see how this would look in CDM Plus. So I'm going to go here to contribution records, and I'm going to find the last entry made. And this will pull up the gift that I just made. And here it is for me to the Community Food Bank for $200. And I've got this one additional line here to the Fee Assist Giving Fund for $1.92. Now, as I said, this giving fund, you can set this name. I'll show you where to do that. But Engage will always add this note here that says Fee Assist. And that lets you know that Engage added this line based on the donor's request to help assist with fees. This will let you know, regardless of that fund, that this was automatically added through the Fee Assist feature. And that is all that is different about this contribution. You would process this and report it just like you would any other online gift. The difference is when you receive this contribution as part of a settlement in 2 business days from stewardship, you're going to receive that full $200 because the gift is automatically increased to cover the transaction fees. So that's essentially what you do on a daily basis as people make gifts and you process and receive gifts. So let's look at how you would set this up. Well, there's 2 things that you need to do to set up Fee Assist in CDM Plus, besides switching to flat rate fees and making sure you're updated to 11.1. Within the program, the first thing you need to do is create a fund to receive contributions for Fee Assist. So under Program and Contributions here, I'm going to go down to Contribution Setup. This is where I can control my funds. And I've got a button right here for Giving Funds. When I click that, I'll see all the giving funds in this database. And this is where I added a Fee Assist Giving Fund. Now you can call this whatever you would like, whatever makes sense to your donors. That could be processing fees, that could be online help, or whatever you would like to call it. But this is just a giving fund like any other. You could actually put that on a giving set if you want and receive gifts directly to it in Engage. That might be a little confusing, but again, that's your choice. But you need to have a fund in here in order to receive those additional donations to help with the fees. You set an income account and a fee account just like you would for any other giving fund that is available through Engage. Here I've created a Fee Assist income account. So when I'm looking over in my accounting side and running maybe monthly comparison, analytic reports, I can see how much income we've received to help with fees. Now this is very important because you'll notice I've chosen the same banking fees expense account for Fee Assist as I have for the majority of the rest of my funds. And again, I want to stress that nothing is really eliminating these fees. So you wouldn't want to try and credit this money back against your fee expense account. That would just be inaccurate accounting. Instead, what we're doing is we're simply saying these fees exist. We're going to increase our income to offset those. So if you had every single gift using Fee Assist through the course of a period, you would be able to compare these online fees and your Fee Assist income, and they should come out the same. So this is going to help you with your reporting to understand how much people are able contribute to the Fee Assist. So once you've created the Fee Assist Giving Fund, you're done in this window. That's just a one-time setup. The other piece that needs to be configured in CDM Plus is to ensure that you've got someone who can log in to Engage and configure how Engage is set up to allow Fee Assist. And that is the new feature in 11.1 that allows us to assign certain individuals an administrative role within Engage. So if I go here under membership program and membership and individual records, I'm going to go ahead and find my individual, the one I was logged into as a minute ago. And here is that record. And you can see there's all my standard information. And something we've added in 11.1 is this role down here. Now, by default, most everyone's going to have a standard role unless they were linked to a user in CDM Plus. But any new accounts you create, they have just standard access. Well, what does standard access give you? Back in Engage, if I look under the menu here in the top right, you can see I've got my giving, people, events, billing. All of this is just the regular standard access. But in this case, I need somebody who is an administrator who is able to control the Engage settings and access more advanced features. I need them to have admin access within Engage. So in CDM Plus, I simply find that person and I click change, and I drop down this role and change this to administrator and click OK. Now you can do this on multiple individuals. This would be a good idea for any office people, staff people, anyone who essentially has trusted access to administer your overall Engage account. So as soon as I do that and I come back in here to Engage, let me reload this page. And if I go back to my navigation menu, you'll see I've got a new choice here for admin. And this is what turning on that role to administrator gives me. So now that I'm an admin and within Engage, I'm able to access overall system setup and administrative functions for my entire Engage account. So by default, I come in here and I can see settings where I can change my logo and the description, the URL. You may have been accustomed to doing this over on our Web Ministry Tools product. Well, we're actively working to merge Web Ministry Tools and Engage together and standardize on the Engage platform. So over the course of the year, we've been moving some of the settings in. If I go back as an admin, I can see my search transactions. I can also do a one-time charge or credit cards that are expiring soon. And I've got all of that available to me as an administrator. Here, we've added, and this is part of what's coming out in the update next week, the options to set up giving and giving sets. And even if you haven't yet set up your text giving, you'll be able to come in here and find a phone number to use for text giving and set that up yourself without needing to wait for us to set that up for you. Fee Assist is configured under Giving Setup. So now that I've got access as an administrator, I'm going to come in here to Admin and Settings and click on Giving Setup. And right down here, this is the checkbox you'll want to turn on. So this is what you'll be able to see next week. If you have not yet switched to flat rate fees, you'll get a message here that says you need to go ahead and make that switch before you can turn this on. But the only thing you need to configure and engage is to turn on this setting and to choose the giving fund that will receive those donations. And you'll see all your funds available here. And this is simply where I've chosen my Fee Assist Giving Fund. Save those changes and you're good to go. And that's all you need to do for setup. I want to show you one more feature before we switch over and take questions. And that is how I can work with Fee Assist for any scheduled recurring gifts that I've got. So here, I'm going to go back under the navigation to giving. And I'm going to pull down to my scheduled gifts. And we can see that I've got one gift here that's scheduled to run every week. And I'd like to go ahead and turn on Fee Assist for this gift. This is the screen where we'll be adding that option that someone can click and just say, yes, turn it on for all my scheduled gifts. But even without that button yet available, I can come and modify these gifts to turn on Fee Assist. So I can simply click Edit. And this looks just as it does. Here's my $100. That looks good. A checking account is good. I'll continue here. And now I can say, yes, I want to increase this recurring donation to offset my processing fees. I'll go ahead and submit those changes. That'll go ahead and save into the system. And then as this gift fires every week, it will now automatically be increased to offset those fees. And we can see that increase to the amount right here. So in a nutshell, that's it. That's Fee Assist. Fairly straightforward to set up. And you've got that one checkbox that hopefully will make a big difference to your organization and the support that you receive. So Chris, do we have any questions?
Let's see. Holly Walsh raised her hand in the chat. She was asking, how do you add the thank you note that was on your receipt?
Gotcha. Yes. So this is something that historically has been set up in Web Ministry Tools, and going forward after next week's update, you'll want to do this in Engage. So the first thing you do is make sure that you have an individual set as an administrator in CDM Plus, and then log in as that individual. You'll just have one for yourself, and go under the navigation in Engage to admin. And here on this giving setup, you'll see this giving memo that shows up at the top of your gifts. And you make your changes and hit save, and that'll instantly affect any acknowledgements going from that point forward.
Danae, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. This new admin tool under Engage, does it also allow you to see the fee assist for the transactions?
Are you wanting to see who might have that enabled?
No, just the general fee that is hitting for each transaction.
Okay, so you want to know what the fee is on your gifts?
Yes.
Yes. You can actually in CDM Plus 11.1, you can see that over in contributions. So if you go into your contribution records or contribution custom listing, we've added a new column that shows the fee and the net amount. So if I go in here and I apologize, this is test data, so it might be a little weird to see, but let's look at any of my Engage contributions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and click configure on this window and drop down, and we have an option here that basically says either online net or online transaction fees. So I'll save this online transaction fees and maybe sort this up. Give this just a minute to load through. 1,200 results here. And over on my top here, I can see here's my transaction fees on each gift. And that will show historically for all the gifts that you have in the system. That doesn't require switching to flat rate or anything else. That's just a new feature in 11.1.
Okay.
All right.
So, sorry, you went to configure and then you clicked on.
Yes, I went to configure, and then in the top left, I can choose the columns that I can see. And I just at the bottom, and then this is where you can drop this this list down, and you're looking for the online transaction fees, or you can see the online net amount. And this is something you could also add to like a contributions custom listing if you wanted to run a report that kind of shows all your giving over time. Maybe put the transaction fees and the full amount and the net all together.
Okay.
Great.
Alex, Holly followed up. She just asked, what if a member does not want to pay fees? Will the transaction still process as before?
Yes, absolutely. So if they don't check that box, then again, so in my $200 example, they would still pay $200, and then you would receive $200 less the transaction fees. So that's works exactly as it has before if they don't choose that box.
Tom, do you have a question?
Yeah, my question is why you set the user fees up as a fund instead of just taking it to the expense account where it goes. It seems a little awkward to have it as a fund.
Well, it's because the giver is actually giving you that money. So they are making a tax deductible contribution that is increased by the amount of fee assist. So we wanted to make sure that they could receive credit for that if they wanted to report it on their taxes.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. I see we've got a question here from Carl.
Yeah, my question is, are you planning to have kind of like a little video tutorial for members to do this?
That's a great question. So yes, and honestly, I would like to get a couple of those other features built and shipped out, because I think that's going to be the easiest way for people to control, for example, if they always want their gifts, to use Fee Assist. So yes, and we'll put that here on the Help Center. We have on our Guide to Engage Giving, there's a section for publishing and promoting Engage. So we've got a number of videos down here that talk about, adding text giving and how to do text to give and so on. And yes, we will be putting a video up here on assisting with fees. That'll, short, sweet, just catchy, friendly music that you can share and use that to encourage people to participate.
Okay, and then one other question. If we have Engage Complete, does that include text giving, or is text giving an additional charge?
Engage Complete includes text giving.
Okay, so if we're on text complete, then we have the text giving.
Yes, if you have Engage Giving, that was part of the change we made last month to all the plans. Everyone that had Engage Giving now has access to text giving.
Perfect, perfect, cool.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you're saying that the members can opt to do this for all of their gifts, say they're setting up a gift tomorrow for just your general fund, and then they're given that option, do you want to do this for all your gifts? And they say yes. Well, 2 weeks later, they want to give to a special offering. Are they going to see that again, or is it going to remember that so that everything they give to, every different fund that goes through Engage, will be allowed to do this?
So there's two elements here. The first is a default that we'll be adding within Engage when they sort of go to their giving profile. There'll be a new option here that essentially says automatically choose to increase my donation to help with fees for all gifts or just text gifts or none of the gifts or so on. Okay. So if they set that to all gifts or all their Engage gifts, any gift that they make will automatically have that checkbox checked. Now, if they want to, they could turn it off on that one specific gift, but that default will turn it on. The second half of this is once we ship this feature to kind of add these defaults and so on, our intent is that the first time somebody makes a gift with a Fee Assist turned on, we'll pop open an additional question that says, would you like to make this your default? So right then and there, they can say, yes, that's a great idea. And all that does is simply set this default without them having to go to another screen.
So they still have the option, if say they've picked that as the default or whatever, say they've set it on their main profile that it's their default, they will still see that checked box on every gift that they're going in and giving, and they can uncheck it on a specific one if they want to.
Correct. So if they want to do a major year-end $5,000 gift and they're saying that's enough, I don't need to help with fees on this, that's fine. They can turn it off on just that one gift and leave it defaulted on the rest. Well, we will definitely hang out here for a few more minutes if anyone has any other questions. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday, good weekend. And if you have any other questions on Fee Assist, let us know. As I said, just watch that email for us next week once this is live, and go ahead and get it turned on and let us know how it's working for you. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.